Well, this is something beautiful, and I love a good cigar. So what are the opportunities, with a jacket like this to embellish it and really pull in elements from the military and ceremonial tailoring into something that I could wear?
So as I always say to people, you can embellish it as little or as much as you like. And it's a reflection, an extension of your character.
What is this called right here?
This is an Oris cord, and this is an elaborate Austrian knot.
I'm kind of drawn towards either the bottle green or the burgundy.
But you like a glass of burgundy, don't you?
Nice burgundy wine, cigar. What better pairings are there?
Exactly.
Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and today is an exciting day in my Bespoke journey as Savile Row tailors Dege Skinner visit the office during their Dallas trunk show for a first fitting of my latest Bespoke commission. Renowned for their military tailoring, Dege Skinner is one of the preeminent British bespoke tailoring houses based on Savile Row doing what they call pure bespoke. Today's fitting is for a bespoke smoking jacket and pair of dinner trousers they are crafting for me, a commission that blends Dege Skinner's rich tradition in military and civilian tailoring. So join me as we indulge in the incredible bespoke journey, exploring the meticulous craft that goes into creating a pure bespoke garment and witnessing firsthand the luxurious blend of tradition and sartorial elegance that only the finest Savile Row tailors like Dege Skinner can offer. Nicholas, hey, so great to see you in Dallas.
Nice to see you, Kirby.
Passing through on one of your trunk shows.
That's right, yes, first of this year. Getting towards the end of it, which is a good thing. But yeah, we've done a few stops, New York, Baltimore, Palm Beach, Atlanta, now in Dallas.
Yeah. How many times are you passing through America on the trunk shows?
The company comes over about 4 times a year.
Okay.
We try and keep them within a couple of week trips each time, and then go to various cities. Obviously, we go to the West Coast as well. Just depends what time of the year it is and where we need to be.
Absolutely. I mean, the trunk shows are such an important part of really extending that British, tradition in the United States, because people often ask, who's the best tailor? Well, the truth is the best tailor is the one that you can see often.
Yes.
Because if you're not able to see them often for fittings like what we're going to enjoy today, you can't get anything out.
That's true.
And so having the ability, of course, like I do, to travel to London and see you on Savile Row, which of course is the best way to see you, but then having, the privilege and really the honor of having you travel here to Dallas and to other cities, again, helps accelerate that bespoke creation process.
Definitely for a first-time customer as well.
Yeah.
It just speeds that whole process up, builds the relationship as well, seeing you in various locations, and as I say, it builds the relationship between us.
Do you find that, at all, customers, do you get to know them better visiting them at home than seeing them exclusively in London?
Yeah, definitely. We get invited out for dinner, drinks, so you get to meet them more on a personal level. I think being in their hometown, people are very proud of where they live. They want to show you off or show the towns off and stuff like that, so it's nice.
Yeah, I would imagine that you in many ways are very well cared for, or well looked after whenever you're traveling.
Yes, it's hard work, but we do get a lot out of it.
Yeah, well, and that's, again, one of the best parts of the bespoke journey is that relationship, is being able to see it deepen and develop, because when one finds a tailor, I mean, these are relationships that are nurtured and cherished, not for years, but in many cases decades, and in the case of Dege Skinner, I mean, a true British heritage firm, generations.
Yes, most definitely. Yes, definitely. Between us all as a team, and obviously with the customers, we like to build up a rapport. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about today's fitting, and I could sit and small talk you to death, but I think we just jump straight into it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
So this is our first fitting.
Amazing. Look at this. So
you've got your pants and your velvet. You can see some of the handwork inside starting to take shape. So yeah, we're going to try this all on you today. Pin our bits and pieces out.
Yeah.
I'll go away, work on your paper pattern, and then that will be replicated in the coat. And then the next time we see it, it'll be a further along process. And
And something like this bespoke smoking jacket, really smoking suit, I guess, with the trousers. It's a dinner suit of sorts.
Yes, that's right.
How many fittings would you expect for a garment like this?
With a no customer, it's nice to see you about 3 times. We understand it's not always possible, but that's ideal for us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what should I try on first?
I think we'll start with the pants, yes.
Okay, excellent. Trousers feel great.
Good. Looks like a nice start.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's things I want to do once we have a proper look at you.
Yep, okay.
So waist-wise, because we've got the suspenders, does that feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Because we want these to work rather than grip you too far in the waist. And height-wise, that feels okay.
It feels great.
Feels natural. I think then we will just take that in just a little bit.
Well, I would leave as much in that waist as possible. Just a little bit of insurance, if you will. You know, it only goes one direction, you know, once you pass 40.
Take a little bit out of your hip here. Just to keep you nice and neat. And I'm also going to take a little bit off the length for you as well. I think you're just a bit too full through the leg.
So we're doing a proper pair of dinner trousers.
That's right,
This would be the same pair of trousers you would make for a tuxedo?
For a tuxedo, yes, and it's a very traditional look with the fishtail back. Keeps them up nice and high, and like we were saying about it, keeps them a little bit looser in your waist. So when you're sitting, eating your dinner or for prolonged periods of sitting down, they are a bit more comfortable for you.
What are we doing here?
I'm just taking some of the length out of your break at the front, just because they just look a little bit heavy. And it'll just keep them a little bit neater. And I want to take a little bit out of this over your hip here.
And so much work goes in. I mean, everyone talks about the jacket, right? I mean, that's, you know, that's the, you know, that's the showstopper in Bespoke. But I feel like in many ways the trousers are the unsung heroes of Bespoke, because so much work goes in to a clean pair of trousers that has a nice drape.
Definitely.
Can you talk through kind of some of the elements that you're working through here? Like, for instance, I mean, you're taking out of the front. Are you able to take just out of the front and not out of the back?
We can do, because, especially because you haven't got a cuff on these. We can do. I am going to take a little bit out. I don't want it to go too far into the welt with your shoe. But as you're saying, it's nice to have the balance. Obviously, the coat's going to be nice and fitted and fit you. And if you've got big, voluminous trousers on underneath, it doesn't really work as an outfit. So, no, it's nice to do the full, as I say, outfit. But no, it's good. It's looking nice.
And I know, you know, Dege, of course, being one of the Savile Row heritage firms, I would imagine has a very classic aesthetic in terms of how you want a garment to fit. You know, on a pair of trousers, I mean, how much latitude, you know, do you allow a customer before, you know, they kind of hit your guardrails?
No, we do. It's a conversation, and again, going back to what we said before, it's the relationship. We trust each other. We've got to work together. It's pointless me saying to you, I'm going to make them like this, and you leave them in your closet and you don't wear them. We've got to work together. What makes you happy? I find people have more of an opinion on pants than they do the jacket.
The jacket, okay.
They let me sort of say what I think more with the coats. But with the pants, people are a bit more, I've always worn them like this, I want to wear them at this height, I want really narrow bottoms or wider. But no, we work together. As I say, it's an outfit. So we're working to get this comfortable and you're happy with it.
What is a collaboration? I feel like in many ways, though, you know, the wise one really defers more often than not to their tailor, because this is your expertise and your job. And I mean, you're a true master tailors, and so
that's right. We do, as I say, it's nice when someone does sort of step away from it and say, I've listened to what you've said, I think you're right, or yes, you make that decision for me.
So we did these high-waisted, right? Which again, you know, once you go high-waisted for braces, you never go back.
Well,
and you know, but it's not exact. It's not. They're not over my.
We can do that, as I say, more so with white tie, because you want to get that balance right. You don't want a really long coat, and you want everything to meet in the middle. But no, these look a comfortable height. They don't look overly high or anything like that. As I say, you seem comfortable standing in them. So again, it's a conversation we have while we're doing these fittings. And
the braces allow you to then have this room.
Yes, and again, as I say, you can sit down in these, smoke a cigar, have your dinner, do whatever you're going to do. So no, it's nice.
And then what about single pleats, double pleats, forward pleats, reverse pleats?
It's all a choice, but for dress wear, again, I think the single pleat's quite nice. Again, you're going to spend a lot of time sitting down. No pleats, they tend to be a very closer fitting pair of trousers, especially around the top. And again, if you're going to sit down, not that you're going to fill your pockets with anything too drastic, but it's just nice to give you that little bit more comfort. Again, you've got the looser waist. There's no point in making it a looser waist and then tighter over your hips. So, we tend to keep it a nice balance.
Okay.
But, I always prefer a forward pleat. It's more of an English look.
Yeah, a full pleat, forward pleat.
Forward pleat, yes.
Yeah, like what we have here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, the forward pleat, the pleat, of course, is, I feel like, essential to allowing a clean drape.
It does. As I say, the braces help a lot with that as well, though, just because they're going to hang from there. It's not gripping you anywhere.
And talk through the back a little bit. So this is a fishtail.
That's right, it's a fishtail back. So from the side here, they kick up a little bit and it keeps it higher. And then your braces all take up the slack of everything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
For a suit, you can make it like a normal traditional pair of trousers with straight at the back. Still keep your suspender buttons in there. And then you still get that little bit looser. And then if you needed to, we'd put the side adjusters on. So if you decided not to wear them with that, just pull those in.
Yeah. And then what about, so we've got side pockets, of course.
Yes, which get nice and straight because then it's all covered up by the stripe on it. Yes.
Yeah. And then the braiding, I mean, this is a satin braid.
That's a satin braid that will tie in with when we put the braid, the satin facing on your smoking jacket.
And then would you do rear pockets? No.
No, again, they get a bit lost because these are so high at the back. There's no sort of position for them to go to. They end up looking a little bit too high.
Too high.
And if you do use them, you end up sitting on whatever's in your pocket because they're cut that much higher.
Yeah, and these are so clean. Why put a pocket on something so beautiful?
Again, for something like this, you're not going to carry lots of luggage about with you on the evening anyway. Well, we'd hope not anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Hopefully. Hardly anything. Only a cigar, some cutters, a lighter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, let's take a look at the...
Yes. So again, you can see some of the inner workings in here with your canvases and your hand stitching and stuff. So
that's beautiful. I mean, this is one of my favorite. I mean, the first fitting, you really get to see the inner workings of
it's the colour that comes to life that you've picked and things like that. Let me give you a hand. And not the easiest things to get into, to be honest with you. So this just pins the front, how much wrap we're going to have. We're just going to have the single button on this, aren't we?
I mean, this in many ways is effectively a dinner suit, right?
Yes.
I think the smoking jacket is kind of how we're thinking about it. So very formal. The double-breasted, of course, I love. We'll do peak lapel.
Yes.
Of course. And then let's talk a little bit about the button stance, because I think that's an interesting conversation, topic of conversation. Choices, you know.
Yes, so we've got the single fastening at the moment, so traditionally you'd have the extra button up the top there.
Yeah. I don't think I'd put too many buttons in it because I want this to be a clean, elegant dinner, you know, like proper evening, you know.
And I think if we're doing what we've already discussed about the cuff, which we'll come to later, there's going to be quite a lot going on.
So you would just do it with the button here then?
Just the button is actually a little bit lower. Here.
Oh, okay. And
then the show one.
Yeah.
That's it. And then none at the top.
None at the top, yeah. Yeah, I think if you put too many buttons on it, then it starts to look like a business suit.
It can do, yes, as well. And as I say, we want it a little bit different to a traditional tuck, so so we're going to take this in a little bit to keep it nice and neat for you.
And this, of course, is a velvet.
That's right, yes.
I mean, do you approach, the drape and everything differently with something that's heavy and has,
Not necessarily. The inner canvases we tend to make a little bit heavier just because otherwise it just keeps it under control a little bit more. Obviously, it is a specialist fabric that we're using, as in the velvet. It does take a little bit more.
You find it easy to work with or more difficult?
Personally, to cut it's not that much of a difference. For the actual team in the workshop, it's a little harder. It can get damaged quite easily with oversteaming or bad machining. If you have to take anything out, it can mark it. So this will just narrow you through the body, which I feel is going to just keep you a little bit closer. I don't want to lose anything through the back here. I think, again, because you're going to be eating, drinking.
Smoking.
And smoking, yes, I've got that bit. We keep that as comfortable and neat as possible, so it's just getting that balance in there. For the shoulders, we just take a little bit up. These look wide, but there's inlay in there, but we don't need any of that. It's pretty much where we need to be.
And how much will you build up the shoulders? I mean, Dege, how much structure will you put in the shoulder itself?
Not a lot. We don't go too mad with it. It's nice to keep them fairly natural.
Yeah.
Again, this is sitting nicely through your collar. It's gripping you nicely at the neck.
What do you focus on? I mean, as you look to anchoring the jacket here in the first fitting.
Yes.
I mean, the neck, is that where you really spend?
It's a good place to start, and obviously you work your way through the whole coat. But yes, it's nice to see that. If it's hanging off, it's usually because there's a balance issue or something like that. So, no, this looks essentially pretty good. Obviously, there's always things we want to do, especially at this stage.
Yeah. Length of the jacket, we're
Yes.
shortening it a little bit.
That's more just because we need it a little bit longer in the front. I think we're just a little bit. I just want to check a measure with you. I think the actual length of the coat's not too bad though. See, what I want to do makes it a little unsightly, but I'll just make this a little bit shorter in the front. What I just said, just in checking your measures. It'll just keep it, because we've got the square fronts of the double-breasted, I want it to hang nice and straight. If it had a pinstripe in it, I'd want them to look straight, which is what this will just do. As I say, it makes it a little unsightly at this stage, but...
And so effectively you'd be adding a dart underneath where the lapel...
No, we'll take it out of your shoulder.
Okay.
Up at this point.
So you're pinning it up under the lapel
pin it
here.
and then it'll come out of here when we take all these shoulders apart and remark it all. And it'll just keep this front hanging nicely. Sleeves aren't looking too bad, actually. This one looks a little bit short.
Yeah, this one I'd say. The right one's perfect.
Yes, and this just needs a small quarter on that, I think.
I mean, to get the sleeve so close in the first fitting.
Well, we tend to take a lot of measures. I think we do about 35. We took about 35 of you when we were in London.
Yeah.
So it keeps it accurate. Again, working when we're on the road and stuff like that, we've got to be accurate. I can't keep dragging out delivering stuff. Yeah. We've got to get some stuff out there.
So there's a precision that has to be, I guess, achieved through the measurements, not just the fittings.
Definitely, definitely. As I say, if we'd have come and the sleeves have been huge or anything else, it's more work for us to do now, whereas, as I say, if we can be as accurate as possible at this stage, it helps us out a lot.
Okay. What else, are you looking at?
I'm just going to narrow these sleeves, not so much at the cuff, just at the top. We're just a bit too full.
Okay.
But that would help balance it out, because obviously we're taking the body in as well. And going back to what you were saying about padding, I'm going to just feel you out a little bit more. I have quite a small pad we put in there anyway. I'm just going to build that up a little bit. Just keep it a little bit.
I've got a pretty significant drop right. That's every tailor's favorite characteristic.
Most people have, to be honest
with you. That and the prominent shoulder blades.
Yes.
And the scalloped back.
Yes. But no, we're looking pretty good. It feels comfortable.
It feels great. I mean, really. it feels exceptional.
Yes, it's a nice colour on you as well, I think.
The colour's gorgeous.
Which, again, is the thing. You can get that wrong and it doesn't work quite as well. But no, this looks nice. And again, as I say, it's nice through the collar. I think the button position's nice, that little bit lower. So it's going to give us that longer lapel.
Okay.
No, I'm very happy. It's a good start.
Yeah. What are the other, variables here with the double-breasted suit? Is there much... you could have this be really long. You could have this be...
we can do. As I say, using only the single button, we're looking for this is where your waistline is. So we've come down a little bit from there.
Okay.
If you come too low, you start looking at it's in balance once you've got your pockets in and things like that. So if we was having the two, I'd work out a space. Again, it's a balance of your height, how long the coat is and things like that. So,
and how much of this is based off of rules and measures, and how much of it is, as they say, rock of eye and a tailor's experience and intuition?
Yes, I think there is, certainly at this stage, getting this to here when we're doing our pattern construction, tend to play a little bit by the rules as where the button positions are. But once we actually see it on you and you standing there as a natural thing where your hands naturally go to, if it looks like we could change it a little bit, we do. Yeah. And it is a little bit of experience that, and it is having these conversations, although we are standing here talking, I am actually looking at your coat as well and almost doing a fitting. It's a balance to do.
A lot to be juggling.
Yes.
Of course, one of the benefits of working with a Savile Row British heritage firm is not just the experience of someone like yourself, Nicholas, that's been cutting for now decades, right? But the aggregation of experience that you've inherited through a firm like Dege Skinner that is, that has this 160-year uninterrupted history and tradition.
That's right, yes. We always there's always pictures about, and if I see old advertisements from newspapers or something like that, I always look at what the garments were looking like and seeing how they've changed just ever so slightly from maybe the 70s to going, I don't know, back to the 20s and stuff like that. So
one of the things that's exciting about this garment, of course, is the ability to really marry my interest in cigars and smoking with Dege's heritage in military tailoring. And of course, civilian tailoring, kind of blending that together through a smoking jacket like this.
Yeah, it's one of the more fun garments that we make to be able to do that.
But one of the things I kind of want to get to is like the woman that's working on this, right? She's got, what, 50 years of experience?
40, yes.
40.
40 years of experience.
Which in many ways kind of transcends your time at Dege, right? So she's pulling in the experience of whoever the cutters were that preceded you.
Definitely.
Right.
And she can tell me if I'm wrong.
Well, but that's at a British heritage firm. You've got that continuity and the longevity of people that have been working.
That's right, yes. Yeah,
and it's that thread that really connects what you're doing now with something that you were doing 50, 60, or 100 years ago.
100%. It's one of those things, and we're nice to work together. And when we look at the cuffs and the things we're going to do, it's not just copying something that you do for the military. It's using it like most fashion does for inspiration to say, I like this little bit. This is a little bit more subtle. It's not such a harsh looking military garment and stuff. So we can take and use what we want. And then, as I say, it's nice to have, we've got samples and things like that, but it's nice if people come in with pictures and say, look, I've seen this garment, not necessarily going to copy it exactly, but we can take that little part from it there and actually we can do it this slightly different way. So it's nice.
But that is the zenith of Bespoke, is that completely, truly unique, one of a kind kind of creation.
Definitely. And that's, as I say, having the military heritage does just throw that little bit extra that we can do to it as well.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, where in this garment will we see, those echoes or kind of those...
Definitely the cuff in what we spoke about before and things like that. As I say, I think we're going to the decisions we sort of made halfway through making is, but we've got some of the samples that we're using as a guide. It's a bit like our shirt department. So our shirt department, obviously we have collars, shapes and stuff like that people can put up against them. So it's a guide. It's like, we can make that quarter inch bigger, we can do this. Yes. So these are just some of the designs that I can easily travel with and walk around with and show people that we can do.
So this would be an example of like an officer's jacket in the military.
Yes, that's right. It's something we've used when we was designing some of the British uniforms. It's samples we've made for them to have a look at. Again, harking back to some of their heritage and stuff like that. So that one's probably the least ornate, this one being the more ornate one.
Okay, let me see. So this, again, we wouldn't have any of the red kind of contrasting fabric.
But the black and the maroon, I think would be nice. And again, as something that we've spoken about, using the braid rather than this, the cord rather than this heavy braid. But
so what are we kind of thinking about? So, I mean, where we would see the ornamentation here is really on the sleeve.
That's right.
You could do it across here, but we're going to keep this
I think
really
so,
kind of understated.
Yeah, I think for your size, and you're going to sit in it a lot. It's not like you're going to be standing at a bar necessarily. You want you to be able to go and relax in it. So you don't want too much in the front, I don't feel. But I think keep it below the elbow so it doesn't break, and you'll have it, and it'll sit in there nicely, and there'll just be a detail in there. And as I say, the black on the maroon, it's not going to be the first thing you notice when you meet you.
And we're going to use this braiding.
We're going to use the cord there.
Cording, sorry.
And then we're going to work out a design with the curls using this thinner braid that's going to go around the edges here. But this is all how they start, and you'll see it get a demonstration on how it all goes together, and it is all done by hand. And Sarah is able to sit and curl and have a design to follow to whether we make it up or whether it's from military regulations.
Yeah. In this case, we have a little bit more kind of creative latitude.
Yes.
So the idea is, I mean, I guess, what do you think? So again, we won't have this big piece of
No, I think
cording.
that looks a bit too heavy. Yeah, something like that. And then I think we'll trace some of this here. Something along these lines. Maybe I think these again might be a little bit heavier. I think we use these more refined ones. We could possibly do the smaller ones here.
Okay.
We could do it another way. It's not the easiest way to do it, but we could do a little bit and then see it and then add more to it. It's something we can come back to seasonally. If you have it fairly plain for a little while, you can then bring it back in a year or so's time. Say, you know what? Let's go all out.
Yeah. Okay. Exciting. Great. Well, it's always fun to see this. And again, this is part of that kind of those echoes, if you will, of the military tradition.
Definitely, yes. As I say, these aren't actually military cuffs. They're ones we've used as designed ideas for when they're making up new military uniforms. So
yeah. And here on the back, I guess you could really see the
amount of yeah, it is. It's an up and down
handwork
like
that goes into it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So,
yeah, wow.
As I say, so you can see some of what's in there.
And so will this have the canvassing underneath?
Yes, this is like a collar canvas, which is the same as this here. For what we're doing with the velvet, I would say we use this collar canvas. We do use a bigger, thicker, what we call a buckram, which is more like a Hessian canvas, which is very heavy for the more heavier materials and obviously the more military.
Yeah.
When there's lots and lots of it. But for a civilian coat, this keeps it a little bit more softer, a little bit more easy to wear.
And then what is this, just a
That's
piece
just a sleisha, like a cotton, just to so it's not solely through that. Yeah. It just keeps it a little bit more firmer.
I mean, this is...
So yeah,
it's exciting to kind of see this come together. And
yeah, we're getting there. As I say, decisions-wise, at the moment we've got a silk satin facing in black, which I think will be nice with the black cord. Lining inside we need to pick, and again, we've got many ideas, but I think we're trying, or in having the conversations we've had, we're trying to keep it fairly subtle. So I feel either a black, maybe a black with a self pattern.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of something slightly on the understated side.
Yes.
Because the jacket itself is going to be a beautiful statement piece.
Definitely.
I mean, if I were to open this up, right, I mean, I think something black.
Right? I think so with the black. If we're going to have the facing as well in the black satin, I think you'll end up with too many colours going on.
Okay.
And I think it'd be nice keeping it subtle.
Would you do like a solid black?
We can do a solid black, just as a couple of other ideas. There is potentially a black paisley, which again is a pattern on itself. It's got just the texture in it, just so there's something in there. Again, it's dress wear, so we can be a little bit more flamboyant, but without going over the top.
Over the top.
See, these are a little bit brighter.
Yeah, this would be too much contrast.
Yes, I think so. And again,
this is a simple tone on tone, which I like.
Yeah, no, I think it's nice. And then you've got similar kind of things here.
Let's see these. Right. Yeah,
and if you open these out, you can go all out. But I don't think it's where we need to be.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, Legos. And you can, I mean, are you able, if a customer, had a photograph of something or had something else, can you do completely custom linings?
Yes, they can do printing now, especially now with the advent of the printing becoming a lot easier and quicker. We can do the shorter runs, which is nice.
This is an interesting kind of houndstooth.
Yes. Again, the black on the black, you see you've got the herringbones as well, but I think that's getting it looking a little business-like.
Yeah. But if we were to throw this, I probably would go with the paisley.
Yeah, I think
nothing
so.
too loud, but
again, it's dressy with the paisley rather than, as I say, the stripe, which is going to be
that's too much.
Just a bit too suit-like or business-like. I think would be better with the paisley, keeping it. Yeah. Okay. So there's something in there.
That was that stained glass windows from who knows where.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, let's start with that, I think.
Yes. No, that's brilliant. So, yeah, very happy to move this on to the next stage. So next time you see it, it will have the silk facings on it. We'll start the work on the cuff. We'll have the lining we've just selected inside of it. It won't be fully finished. It'll still have a lot of these stitches in there, but it'll certainly be on towards the next stage.
Yeah. So the canvas is in,
yes,
but it's not pad stitched to lapel yet.
No, that's right. That will be done later once we've actually cut this front edge, because this won't stay as thick here.
But for the second fitting, will that be?
Yes, we'll have the silk facings on there and stuff like that.
So it'll be pretty much done?
It's a lot further along.
Yeah.
It will look a lot more like the finished garment. As I say, all the alterations that we've pinned out of you and stuff like that will be instigated. So I'm excited to see it.
Great. Well, Nicholas, this is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
And appreciate you coming to the office. A true privilege of Bespoke is to have this level of service and actually see here.
We do strive to help.
So there we have it, first fitting with Dege Skinner. This is my first bespoke garment from the firm. Savile Row, bespoke heritage firm par excellence, of course, with an incredible history in military tailoring. I'm not in the military, so the only way I really can incorporate that into a garment is like what we're doing here with this bespoke smoking jacket. And I have to say, I can't wait to see this come together. This really is such a beautiful example of that bespoke creation process, being able to use your imagination and leverage the heritage of a firm like Dege Skinner, 160 years almost, to put something together that is completely one of a kind and unique. Here we have it. So first fitting here in Dallas. They were able to come visit me at the office. The second fitting will be back in London this May. and hopefully the completed garment in time for the June 55th anniversary of Trinidad in London at the World Habanos Day. I know showing up in this garment from Dege Skinner, I'll certainly be one of, if not the best dressed person in the room, and I can't wait to see this garment come together. Of course, if you're watching this video for the first time, make sure you hit that red subscribe button, give us the thumbs up, let me know what you think of this garment, how it's coming together in the comment section below. And if you haven't visited KirbyAllison.com, please take a moment to do so. Of course, it's the best way to support the content that we film here on this YouTube channel. There you'll find the largest collection of luxury garment care and luxury shoe care accessories in the world, as well as other great clothing accessories for the well-dressed, like this sovereign grade necktie, those beautiful black London dot braces that you saw in this fitting, and so much more. Of course, I'm Kirby Allison, and I love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes while exploring the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Thanks for watching.